asked me why. I just went on and told her. She asked me why. I just went on and told her. She asked me why. I just went on and told her. She asked me why. I just went on and told her. That Indian blowing whistle on the time ain't ringing the bell. That Indian blowing whistle on the time ain't ringing the bell.
Wow. Pretty sobering pictures there. Welcome to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. I'm Steve Ray with you. Coming to you live from Ooltewah, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Charlie Potts, welcome. Crystal and Jeremy, Ken, welcome to the show, and everybody else. The Owl's Nest Barbecue Show here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we dodged a huge bullet. Unfortunately, Nashville, Middle Tennessee, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Cookeville did not. We're going to be talking with Stan Hayes of Operation Barbecue Relief in just a few moments about what they are doing to offer some sort of solace and deliver some humanitarian efforts to those areas. And after that, Kenny Smith, our Owl's Nest barbecue correspondent in Nashville, will give us a virtual eyewitness account of the minutes after the hurricane struck at around 12, I think it was 12:15 to 12:30 a.m. So a lot to talk about. We're brought to you by Michelin Tires. When it's go time, you don't have to worry about whether your tires are ready for go time. Michelin Defender LTX is the leading truck tire, and it is the industry standard. Available in SUV and light trucks, all sizes available. We're also brought to you by Butcher Barbecue Products. My buddy Dave Bosca, the rubs and sauce that won the 2018 World Championship will win over your family and friends. We're having a big family gathering here at the Owl's Nest Barbecue R&D Center on March the 29th, and you can bet there will be barbecue and Butcher's Barbecue products involved. And we're also want to let everybody know that the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show is the broadcast partner of the Backyard Smokers Barbecue Facebook page. Wes Phillips and his staff bringing you the best Facebook page for the grilling and smoking industry on Facebook. That is the Backyard Smokers Barbecue page on Facebook. Our broadcast sponsors and partners on Facebook with Wes Phillips and the good folks at Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook page. 5th annual Scrappy's Chicken Wing Contest was for all my local guys. And even you guys, Ken, listening up in Nashville, John Selmer, Crystal and Jeremy, and Charlie, you guys who have joined us. Y'all might want to take part in this. The 5th annual Scrappy's Chicken Wing Contest is coming up. April the 4th at UTC, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. It's going to be in the big parking lot right across the street from McKenzie Arena. Starts at 11. Entry fee is free. How about that? First place $500, second place $300, third place $200. That's right, $1,000 in prize money. If you want to sign up, just drop me an email, steveray@srmo.us. steveray@srmo.us. US, not .com or net. .us. And I'll put you in touch with the right people. Let's see. Oh, yeah, May 23rd. Owl's Nest Barbecue has been chosen to represent the Kansas City Barbecue Society on KCBS Promotion Day. That's going to be May the 23rd at the Bass Pro Shop in East Ridge, Tennessee, which is just like Chattanooga, right off of I-75 at exit number 1. You can't miss it. It's right on, almost on the interstate. Frank and I, neighbor Frank Blair and I, the Alsness barbecue team, will be there delivering barbecue samples, rubs, and we'll even have a little how-to class answering all your questions about barbecue. So if you're just getting started or you want to come by for some free barbecue, make that a note. What did I say? I forgot. I lost my place. Yeah, May 23rd, the Bass Pro Shops in East Ridge. Um, I forgot to mention these guys last week. I can't believe it. The Butcher Shop down in Pensacola, Florida, for all your, I'm not going to say exotic meats, but finer meats. They have exotic meats, but finer meats. Wagyu, it's your Wagyu hookup. If you're looking for a Wagyu brisket to cook for a contest, or if you've just got a special event and you're a brisket guy like I am and you just want to raise that game up a little bit, the Butcher Shop in Pensacola, Florida can get you hooked up with an A9 Wagyu brisket. And that's from Australia. Now you got to call them. It's a little, I know, no website. You send them a message on Facebook, but Facebook Messenger is one of those. Is it really an official conversation piece? To me, it is. A lot of people, it's not. To them, it is. But they may take a little while. But you can call them. Get your pencil and write this down, Steve Jordan. 850 458 8782. 850 458 8782. That's the Butcher Shop in Pensacola, Florida. And mention, now this is from our friends over on YouTube, Greg Rempe and the Barbecue Central Show. Mention the Barbecue Central Show and you will get 10% off of your order. After you order, go, hey Kevin, almost forgot. I want to give you the secret password. The Barbecue Central Show is the password, and they'll give you 10% off. I did it. I got some Wagyu New York strips the other day. Mentioned the Barbecue Central Show. Got 10% off, which more than covered the shipping. Because some of the stuff they have there is not cheap, but it's worth every dime that they charge. Wagyu ribeyes, boneless or bone-in. Wagyu tri-tip. I've had that. I've made that. That has won the World Food Championships twice. Wagyu tri-tip, and it's delicious. They have picanha, Wagyu picanha. I've never made picanha, but they have it. And sirloin tip Wagyu. They also have all those in prime as well. So the Butcher Shop, 850 458 8782. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me find my show notes. Like I said, we've got Stan Hayes from Operation Barbecue. He is standing by. He is on the ground in Nashville, and we're going to go talk to Stan right now. Let's get him real quick. Hey, Stan.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing great. There he is, Stan Hayes of Operation Barbecue Relief, just like it says right there on his T-shirt. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Hey,
Pretty good.
What you guys are doing is great, but in a way, you're becoming like Jim Cantori on the Weather Channel.
Yeah, no one wants to see us.
I'm sure you've heard that. When you show up, it's like something really bad has happened. But we're glad you're there. Stan is the pitmaster of County Line Smokers. He's a co-founder of Operation Barbecue Relief, and he is live at Nissan Stadium in Nashville right now. Stan, kind of describe the feeling and the emotions going on right now in the country music capital of the world.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people come through today. We've had, being here at Nissan Stadium, we've had the Titan, some of the front office coming out here. They're extremely appreciative of the group coming out and what we're doing to get meals out into the communities. The people in the communities, we've had people out there feeding today. Mm-hmm. I think the official number is just under 10,000 meals went out of the parking lot today.
Wow.
Puts us just under 12,000 meals in 2 days. And You
Incredible.
know,
That's staggering number. Those numbers are staggering.
it is, and especially when you're building the spaceship as you're trying to fly it. We're sitting here putting the parking lot together, getting all the supplies, getting
Mhm.
everything put up, and trying to then also put out those kind of meals. But yeah, I mean the stories that we're hearing. I heard a story today just floored me, and we have a volunteer that came up and she said, "Hey, yeah, I just want to let you guys know that what you guys do is amazing." She goes, "I'm from Northern California. You guys fed me after the Paradise wildfire, and
Wow.
it sort of just floored us because, we fed her family after that Paradise fire,
Hmm.
and she happened just to be on vacation here in Nashville,
What are the odds?
and she decided to take a day from her vacation to come out and pay it forward to this community after we and so many people came to her community after that massive fire. What was that? 2 years ago? A year ago?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just crazy. Um, and I mean, I tell you, it gets the hair on my neck standing up just telling you the story. And I don't do it any justice when you hear her tell it, obviously, with her emotion. So you got those emotions of people, from people coming out, and just hearing the stories from the volunteers of handing those meals out today.
Hmm.
It just reminds you why you're out here and you're on your feet for 10, 12 hours a day and or longer, and really the impact that you make in a community.
Ken or Stan, I keep calling you Ken. I have a friend in Chattanooga named Ken Hayes, and that's the only
And
reason
no
I'm saying.
worries.
But I'm gonna call you Stan because your name is Stan, not Ken. Stan, when you're at Nissan Stadium and you look out across the river, that is East Nashville, and
Hmm.
can you see any of the damages from the parking lot if you move around the stadium?
So you really don't see it here. My understanding is if you get over the bridge and you get in there a little bit, then you
Hmm.
start seeing it. We're about a mile or so really from where you start seeing, maybe 2 miles from where you really start seeing that damage. You might see some here or there. I mean, we've had some issues, like the hotel across the road. They tried to call over there and they still don't have a phone system.
Hmm.
They got knocked out and stuff like that. So it's just it's a little weird because if I look over there at the skyline right now, I'm looking at the door. The buildings are lit up like they normally would be on a
Hmm.
Thursday night as people have just started, are still leaving the jobs and everything. And downtown doesn't look like, anything different. But
Right.
again, you go about 2 miles and then all of a sudden, you know, everything changes.
They said that was on the tornado was on the ground for approximately 50 miles, and
Yep.
it paralleled I-40 like it was heading from Nashville to Knoxville, with a massive stop in Putnam County, Cookville, Crab Orchard, that area. Um, where do y'all decide, Ken or Stan, when you're getting ready, when you heard about this, are you notified that we've got an event that's terrible, and you guys may want to be on standby, Stan? And how do you decide?
So
How do you
more of
decide
our
when to go?
Yeah, so more of that comes from our own people giving us, that background of what's happening on the
Hmm.
ground. Plus, we're looped in with the VOAD, the volunteer organizations active in disaster, is what it's called here in Tennessee. They actually have several little chapters around the state because of how wide the state is. You've got a West Tennessee and an East Tennessee and a Central VOAD. So we're looped in with them. We have some emergency managers and people out there, so we get a little bit of everything,
Hmm.
if you will. But once we start finding or hearing the needs and actually start getting some requests, even we start. At that point, that's when we're starting to mobilize. The biggest thing is it doesn't really matter the size of the town or things like that. If there is a defined need that we can find out there,
Uh-huh.
that's what we're going to be looking for. And so when we find that defined need, I mean, there's been many times that we haven't, responded to something that's made a lot of national news or something like that, a tornado, but it's because it hit maybe a very highly commercialized area.
Hmm.
And restaurants are open. People's homes weren't really affected. So, why would we want to go in and disrupt the local economy?
Right. By offering free food when everybody's trying to sell food.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand
Yep.
that. So what does Operation Barbecue Relief, what do y'all bring, Stan, and then what do the volunteers and the helpers bring? Like
Sure.
what is the line of equipment? Because cooking food is a massive undertaking, especially when you're getting ready for like a contest and you have plenty of time. I can't
Sure.
imagine being like a fireman or a foodman, so to speak, to go.
Yeah. So over the years, obviously it's grown. I mean, we started with everybody bringing their pits and their own Cambros and everything else, and putting tape on them, and hoping you got them back at the end. But now we have got all that equipment. We do have some high capacity, propane fired type smokers,
Mm-hmm.
big old hickories and stuff that we don't own, that some of our volunteers do bring.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, here in Nashville, we actually have one of Pat Martin's, big old hickory rotisseries with one of his hog pits on front.
Mm-hmm.
We're not using the hog pit, obviously, but we
Right.
are using the rotisserie on it as needed. That's part of the barbecue family right there, is to be able to call up a friend of yours and say, hey, do you have something we can use?
Stan, you bring
And
up a good point. Tell me the involvement with Martin's Barbecue and Peg Legs
yeah,
Barbecue, Carrie Pringle, how they
yeah.
have helped out there.
Yeah, so the barbecue family is amazing. When you look at it, and I've known both Pat and Carrie for several years now, and gotten to know them better over those years. And then they've always said, hey, if you ever need something, you ever in the area, let us know. And that they were the first two text messages that I made. One was first checking on them, make sure that
Mm-hmm.
they and their employees were okay. But the second was, hey, once we know more, I'm going to be in touch with you. And so, we got a pit from Martin's
Mm-hmm.
that we've got here, but Kerry's, been over there and using his sources to get,
Yeah.
chicken donated for us. He, day one, he cooked, the 1,700 meals that went out yesterday were cooked on his pits, because our pits weren't here and set up in time,
Mm-hmm.
to get it done so we could feed people yesterday. So, relying on them to do things like that and help us out is huge for us. The other thing is that we've had a long-standing relationship with Famous Dave's, across the country, and this franchise here in Nashville. This will be the third deployment they've actually gone out with us on.
Wow. So what is what is the menu? I could imagine doing hot dogs and hamburgers and sides,
So
but I
yeah,
mean if
so
you're rolling out full barbecued pork butts and briskets and chicken and
yeah,
ribs, that's quite a that's quite a Sunday afternoon picnic dinner.
yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's okay.
They they're gonna we just had a reefer truck pull in of some supplies, and pulled right up by here. They're
That's
just
all right.
shutting the door a little
We
bit.
can hear you just
So
fine.
the big thing was, so for lunch today it was pulled pork sandwiches. We had some red beans and rice, and we had corn that went out. And then this evening is pork loin with brown gravy, and I think either green beans or corn this
Good hit.
evening. So they're getting a hot side, they're getting some bread. We actually had Martin's potato rolls came in and donated, several thousand, rolls today,
Yeah.
and they're actually doing more. I think their next truck's going to be close to 30,000 that
Wow.
they're going to bring in, for the weekend for us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing, the connections that we make when we go into these communities, and it's not the first time Martin's has potato rolls has stepped up and helped us. So we're getting things, we're getting introductions from people that we know, people that see what we're doing here in the community, know people. But at the same time, we also had to go to local restaurant supply store. I mean, right now we cannot find any banquet packs. So the knife, fork, spoon
Yeah.
type packs with we can't find those right now. They're not available here locally. I mean, Sam's Club, none, Restaurant Depot, none of those places have them. And with both Cisco and U.S. Foods getting their warehouses were damaged from the tornado, they're sort of out of it.
Yeah.
And PFG, slash Reinhardt and Foods now is really the only one in the area that's got a full service. So we're still waiting on a call back for them. So as we're taking these meals out in the field, we can, provide them that.
So if anybody listening here in Chattanooga, Ringgold, if you're heading there to help, if they were to stop by Sam's and grab some the banquet packs, that would be something that you could really use right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Stan, who comes and gets the food, and do y'all deliver the food, and what is the dynamic of that?
So right now, we have different groups, church groups, several civic groups. We've had both Salvation Army and Red Cross requesting, the local chapters requesting meals to take out to these, to the different places in the communities. We've had homeowners associations that have, wanting to try to help the people in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everybody. And then we've been setting up, we worked with Lowe's today, and we had 4 different Lowe's locations that our guys went out to and set up and served 400 to 500 meals right there in the Lowe's parking lot to those people that were coming out to get supplies and coming out to get stuff to help clean up around their house and the yard and everything. So it's been a great partnership, it's really just a great piece for us to go through and get our people out in the field so they can see that.
The pictures have rolled in the last 2 days. The home videos are starting to appear on YouTube and national television. The size of this event is behemoth. The size of the cloud is. It's like the finger of God has just come through there, and just it was annihilated, and the people that were being interviewed, they're starry-eyed, they're standing in disbelief that their house is gone, and this affected all sorts of homes, businesses, different stratas of income, neighborhoods, all became one. Have you had people that have actually come from the neighborhoods to Nissan Stadium, looking for food and help?
We've had some that have come here that have gotten to a point that they want to try to give back to their community, so they're coming and trying to signing up to volunteer and everything. We do not have a food service line here yet. We are looking at adding one for this weekend. We're actually talking with the Titans and Nissan Stadium about doing a feed here yet. That's yet to be determined when exactly that's going to be, but it sounds like this weekend we may do some sort of a community type feed where people can come out here to the stadium with us, with the Titans, and do something together to give back to the community right here.
I think that would be a good idea, because I don't think Titan Stadium is that far from some of the harder hit areas in the Nashville area. I think if you were to get drone footage and that sort of thing, it's not that far away. I've only been there once, but I know that's a very heavy populated neighborhood on that side of the river, right when you get off the interstate to come over here, to come over to Nissan Stadium. So when I heard about where it was, I thought, oh my God, there's thousands and thousands of people that live right there. This isn't some, I know in Putnam County there's more rural areas and they were devastated, but I know Nashville is so populated, with 80 people a day moved to Nashville to begin with. And that's another thing, Stan. Have you heard anybody talk about the disaster misfortune? Add this tornado they had, was it 4 or 5 years ago? They had the flood that devastated that community. Is anybody talking about what's going on here in Nashville? Have you heard that?
So no, I think right now they're still looking at how, this is probably the worst tornado to hit, the central area of Tennessee in history.
Mm-hmm.
The way it's looking, how long it was on the ground, the number of people that were killed, and just the sheer damage. I had a guy local here that was telling me how, after the last major tornado back in, I think, the late 90s it was, they had to replace over 200 power poles,
Mm-hmm.
out along almost the same path along I-40 there. And he said the report from the utility companies where it's upwards of 700 that will have to be, replaced after the tornado, this time. And having a more than threefold increase, that's a huge amount. I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of infrastructure over the last 20 years since the last major tornadoes come through, but I mean that's a considerable amount of increase. So
It's
you think about
It's interesting you said that. Coming up next after you, my friend Ken Smith, who you will probably meet sometime this weekend, because Ken is a very civic oriented and mindful guy. He will probably come down to Nissan Stadium to visit and help. He listened to the mayor's press conference today, and he will have some statistics. And Stan, I went over with him briefly earlier today. They are mind-boggling and staggering, the
yeah
infrastructure that has been ruined by that storm that came through. So what
yeah
so what do you need now, as far as people listening? We've got a lot of people listening online right now.
yeah
What do you need? What do you need from like the areas, Nashville, because Chattanooga, Columbia, um, even Louisville, they're not that far. Jackson
yeah
County, Jackson, Tennessee, not that far. Nashville's such a strategically located city. A lot of people could get there in literally. If like right now, if I hopped in the car, I would be there before 9:30 my time.
Yeah, so in every event like this, there's three things that people could do. The first one is if you have the opportunity to volunteer, we're still going to need volunteers through the weekend. We've got about I think they said by tomorrow afternoon we'll be up to like 40 some volunteers here.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about that, 40 volunteers. We had like maybe 30 today, and we put out almost 10,000 meals. And I think we'll be approaching 20,000 by Saturday. Because it's going to increase because volunteers are coming to the area. They're going to come to really help clean up the neighborhoods. They want to give back. They want to do those things. So because of that, the food need's going to increase. And because of all of those things, we're going to need more people. Additionally, if we have more people that are able to, we can get more meals out to neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
We can load up vehicles and throw a tent and a table in the back there.
Yeah.
I mean, we can put it into the top loading foam cameras that we use today
Mm-hmm.
that can keep them warm for keep that warm for hours. And you can literally pull up in a parking lot someplace where there's a need or into a street that's been highly affected.
Mm-hmm.
And at lunchtime, people don't want to sit down generally and eat hot hot
Yeah.
corn or green beans and
Yeah.
stuff. They want a sandwich and maybe a bag of chips or something,
Yeah.
or a bowl of something that they can,
Mm-hmm.
eat up pretty quickly. And so that's, for lunch, those are going to be more of when we're pushing those meals out. That's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to give them that hand. Maybe it's 2 sandwiches, depending on what that person wants. But so volunteer. You can go to our website. We have a great app. Our team's been really working hard over the last couple of years. We've developed an app. And if you go to the App Store, for your Google Store, Google Apps or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you can search for OBR Volunteer. That's all you have to type in is OBR Volunteer, and it's going to pop up. And you can download it, and it'll walk you through registering as a volunteer. We've grown so much, and we get so many people through here now. We do a background check. People ask about it, and it's okay. Is we do a background check because we can't have people coming through that we don't know who they are anymore. We have too many corporate sponsors and too many people on site, to do that. and people don't like it sometimes, but that's just the reality of the world that we live in today. But if you follow that, and once you're in there and you've done those things, it's going to show you what the volunteer opportunities are. And you can literally push a button and say, yeah, I can be there all day. I can be there half a day. And it will put you in the queue. And then you'll get an email with the information of where you come to, where to come to check in, and then get a job duty when you get here. So that's the first way. The second way is what we're doing right here. Share the message, whether it's share the podcast, whether it's go out here and go to our social media and share that on your page. Tell people what we're doing. You've got friends out there. You heard the message. Yeah, we could use banquet packs. Even more than that, we're going to have to buy banquet packs. So you want to make a donation. $5, $10, $50, whatever that you can give helps. And you can do that a couple of different ways. If you're on social media, you can push I always say it's the path of least resistance. Whatever way is easiest for you to do it, you should do it. Don't people get caught up, well, doesn't Facebook take anything? Well, actually, Facebook doesn't. And Facebook actually, because of their size, their e-commerce fees are even lower than probably my website. So, during disasters like this, they waive most of the fees. Yeah. Except for, that exchange fee of swiping the card, typing the number in. Yeah. So, or go to our website. I mean, heck, if you're on your phone, right now you could text, I think it is OBR to 41444, and it will pop back a mobile optimized link to our website to make a donation. So there's so many ways to give, so many ways to do things, to get involved through social media and sharing messages, and just going and giving. And giving is the third way. If you can't, you don't have the social media, you don't have the time to do that, you don't have time to volunteer, then give that $5, that $10, that $50, whatever it is, to help the community, because every little bit counts.
Exactly, and of course money goes probably further than anything you could take up there. I'm assuming you send out the meals in just clamshells, what we call them.
So actually we'll send them out when the church groups and stuff come through. They go out in full-size aluminum pans.
Oh, okay, and then they distribute them.
If it's a church, let's say it's going to a church group that we know or we've worked with before, or they've got a church here local, we'll use those top-loading Cambros if they're taking because that can do about 200 servings in one of those top-loading Cambros. Yeah. We've got these liners that we put in there. We'll dump it in there. So say they need 1,000 meals to go there. Well, because food safety is so important, with that group, we're going to probably do that. And the thing is they've got to bring back the Cambros before they get any more additional meals.
Yeah. All right. So you're in Nashville. You're going to be setting up there and be there all weekend. Any long-term plan on when you'll be leaving, and will you be trying to move down I-40 towards Putnam County?
So we had scouts out in Cokeville today. And even though what you're seeing is some major damage out in that area, that community, there was really 150 homes, a big area that was damaged. Now that's a lot of homes. Yeah. But when you think of a 40,000 people in there, we had a hard time giving 400 meals away today. Another group that we were talking about that's set up there that had meals, they didn't give all of them away. They got them, that we got meals to. So in that community, it's affected. The community, the outpouring of support, and again, you got businesses open. You got restaurants that are opening up. They're opening their doors to the community. They want to help. Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
So what we're seeing is more towards North Nashville, East Nashville, over towards Mount Juliet, Hermitage, Lebanon. There's actually, we gave all the meals away. We were at 4 different Lowe's today, and the only place that we didn't get rid of the meals was out in Cokeville. So we're now readjusting. Yeah. But we have 2 hot shots on site. One that we're using from the local Famous Dave's franchise and our own. We can pan those food in bulk in 50 serving pans, and we can take those out to those local areas and drop them off and find places. So we'll have scouts going out trying to find more areas to get those meals into while taking the meals, so we can continue to help in those areas. We're not going to, we're certainly not leaving Cokeville out. We're just not going to set up a separate site there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just shot it over there, because it would be easier for us to keep, economies of scale to go larger in one place. We can do a lot more than splitting up that volunteer base, especially when we're running a little lean on volunteers right now.
Cookeville is the home of Tennessee Tech University, a large university here in the state, and I'm sure that the kids there and the faculty are probably mobilizing to help in that community as well.
Again, it's a beautiful thing. One of the tenets that we have is we don't go into a community that doesn't need us,
Mm-hmm.
because inserting yourself inside that community is just bad for the community. It doesn't help them, because the community really starts to heal when that happens, when that community comes together and sort of melds and takes care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
When the outsiders, because I consider us an outsider, I mean, we got over half the volunteers that we have are from this greater area right here, sitting in this parking lot right now. But we consider, it's a foreign entity coming into the community and inserting themselves in there right now to help. And at the time that the other groups, when the church groups get their feet underneath them and the civic groups start putting things together and they start doing that for them, that's our time to back out. That's the time. And we are estimating, just from the years of doing this, that's probably going to be around Tuesday, Wednesday, where we're going to start seeing a lot of that get stood up,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot more organization come in, where we can start backing down and ramping down and handing things over to them to continue to do.
And
so, we're looking at a good 7 days probably here in the community, and we've, with the way they are now, I would guess that we'll be at 70, maybe 60, 70,000 meals, somewhere around that.
wow.
And
I believe this is what, number 67?
I think, yeah.
66
Somebody
or
asked me the other
67?
day, and I was like, I think it's 67.
Yeah.
It could be 68. Maybe I used to be able to run the numbers off. I mean, it's not our first time in Tennessee, obviously. So, it's not a new state to us or anything like that.
Yeah.
With what we did up in the Gatlinburg area with the fires a few years, I want to say a few years ago, but that's like almost 4 years ago, going on 5 years now.
Yeah, about I think it's 3.
And
Seems like we're having to recall too many catastrophes here of late.
Yeah.
As our area becomes more and more populated in the East Tennessee, Middle Tennessee area, where you are sitting right now is I think the fastest growing city in the United States, if not the fastest, the second fastest growing.
Sure.
City.
I mean, well, the cost of living's great here. It's a beautiful city.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some of the best food in the Midwest. What isn't? It's got the culture, everything else. I mean, it's a thriving community because of what it's got here. Not to mention that the weather's not bad generally. I mean, yeah, we had a tornado, but you're in the Midwest. That happens.
Forget about that tornado, and the weather's great. Right? Yeah.
It was beautiful today.
Well, Stan, I tell you, you're sitting in an area where the mantra is 3 chords in the truth, and I know that they're glad to see you there, and I'm glad that you're there, and we're going to see if we can find some banquet boxes and send them up to you somehow. Right,
that'd be fantastic.
I-24, we'll get you some of those, and we appreciate the time that you spent with us, and good luck. And you're doing the right thing, and I know the people there in Davidson County and the surrounding counties will, when this is all said and done and shaked out, you will be applauded and thanked gratefully. I know you will be, and I appreciate
thank you very much for your opportunity.
And I appreciate you, Stan, for taking the time to talk with us here at the Owl's Nest Barbecue. We'll see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Stan. Stan Hayes coming to you live from Ground Zero. Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to do a little quick housekeeping. Don't forget, we're brought to you by, where is that note? I just had the Backyard Smokers Barbecue is the broadcast partner of the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. We appreciate all the fine work that Wes and his organization does, and we appreciate him very, very much. We're going to get on the phone now, and we are going to holler at. We're going to go talk to Ken Smith from Nashville. He'll be with us in just a moment. I've got some video playing of the damage that was done in Nashville. Hey, Ken, how you doing?
Good, buddy.
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it, Ken Smith from the greater Nashville area. I was just playing some of the video, Ken, of the damage that was done Tuesday morning in East Nashville. Ken Smith, one of our Owl's Nest Barbecue backyard correspondents. Appreciate you being with us, Ken.
Yeah,
when something happens in Nashville or that area, it's always nice to know that we can holler at you, and you can kind of give us the bird's eye view of what's going on there. Tell us about that morning, because I know your sleep was disrupted, and you got out in it right away.
Yeah, sure did. I think it was about 12:30 when it come by here. It was 12:30, 12:45. I'm not really sure, but I think around 12:30. My phone, I had a weather alert on my phone. It started going off.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's phone started going off. And then about 30 seconds later, we heard the tornado sirens. It's at a local school here.
Yeah.
So we jumped up, and looked at the phone, and it's like, what? It's here, because we've had that before, but you would have a 4 or 5 minute warning at least.
Yeah.
But it was right on top of us. I put my pants and my shoes on real quick, and went to the front door, and you could hear it. My house is about 2 blocks off of Highway 70,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the other side of Highway 70 was the first sign of damage that we could see was probably 500 yards, maybe a little more than that, but it wasn't much more. Was the outer edge of some of the damage. But we could definitely hear it, man. It sounded like I guess if you've been closer, maybe it would have sounded like a freight train if it was coming right over your house. But to me, it sounded more like a jet, commercial airliner taking off. It was really roaring. It was really loud.
You said earlier that you had to hop in the truck to go try to find a friend.
Yeah. We have a friend that moved here, and she moved into an area. It's about normally it's about 2 miles away. Driving it's about a mile as a crow flies. But we called her, and she said, yeah, her neighborhood's tore up really bad. She was standing on the front porch, and everything was dark. She didn't know anybody, and she was scared. So my wife and I jumped in the truck. I don't know if it's the smartest thing to do. We went flying over there and got turned in her neighborhood, and man, there was poles everywhere and wires and trees. We had to go a couple different routes before we could finally get to her.
I guess all the normal routes were probably all blocked from the trees, telephone poles, wires.
Yeah. I mean, there was stuff everywhere. What probably wasn't the smartest thing, but I'm not one to, I'm not going to sit around.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But we got there, and there was nobody on the roads. There was no emergency vehicles. It was just like, by the time we got there, it had to be 10 minutes after it went through at the most. And but by that time, man, it was quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, because we rolled up and we could holler from the road to her house. Are you okay? And could hear each other just fine. So
now, when you were there, did you see people start to walk out of their dwellings and look around, going, "What in God's name was that?" Or
yeah, man, no, there were some people out in front of their houses. There was one guy that lived down the street from her, had like a bobcat, like a construction bobcat, had lights on it.
Uh-huh.
He had that out in the road, lighting up the road already.
Yeah.
He thought pretty quick because it was dark, man. That's something else. I'm definitely getting some spotlights on my trucks. Because it was scary going through there. Was wires everywhere,
Yeah.
and I thought I was clearing them on the top, but I couldn't really tell for sure.
Yeah.
But
Now
yeah, so
you said that the mayor of Nashville, and I don't know this gentleman's name, he had a press conference or an information gathering today. What the things we spoke about earlier today really shocked me. Just point out some of these things that that the mayor said are still that they're facing there in Nashville.
yeah. Well, mayor's name's John Cooper, and he had a press conference around noon today,
Hmm.
and these are just some of the. I jotted down some of the statistics, not all of them by no means, but this is just in Davidson County, Nashville,
Yeah.
Davidson County. This isn't Mount Juliet and Hermitage. But anyway, there were 673 electric poles that was still just broken in half. I mean, that's a
Wow.
lot, man. That's 673 poles. Uh, there was 80 roads that still closed, and that's down from uh, under 100 something. I think it's 120 something,
Yeah.
but it's down to 80 roads that still closed. And so you said there were 70 traffic lights that are still gone. Not just inoperable, but just
Just
gone.
gone.
Don't
Just
even know where to go. Yeah,
wiped off the intersections.
yeah, just gone. So that was some of the stuff that really jumped out at me right there. He
Yeah.
had a lot of other facts, but that was enough right there.
I almost hate to bring this up, but I know it happened. I think I want to say it was 6 years ago, almost to the day, or almost to the month rather, that we had a tremendous tornado came through Harrison, our Ooltewah Harrison area. Much like not as it wasn't on the ground near as long as what Nashville suffered, but it was a horrible event and just literally sucked up houses and spit them out. And that's what these
Yeah,
things
yeah.
do. And are there any reports of looting that have going on? Because that was one of the things that happened in our area. They had to close the exit off of Ooltewah when it happened here, and the police came by and I said, "Why did they close the exits?" He goes, "You wouldn't believe all the people that are coming from other parts of the area to try to find valuables that were dislodged from people's homes." And
Yeah.
that
What
never occurred to me. Have you heard any of that going on yet?
I haven't here in my area. The area that I live in is called Donaldson.
Uh huh.
It's like the first suburb when you come out of Nashville. If I get on that Highway 70 I was telling you about, I'm
Hmm.
exactly 12 minutes from Broadway, so I'm pretty much Nashville.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard of any looting here. The looting I heard of was at one that's like a soda shop there in East Nashville.
Uh huh.
There was looting going up. I think I saw there was some looting going on there.
Yeah.
But they pretty much got cops here in my area. Policemen is got everything blocked off, and you have to have a reason to get in there. There's really no way in and out without going through a police officer.
Yeah. They did that. They did that finally here when they blocked off the road and you had to show them the ID that you were in fact a resident of that area. Um,
Yeah.
Tell me what kind of volunteer and philanthropic causes have you seen um, in the Nashville area that are gathering to help?
All right. Well, I'll tell you what I did the day after the tornado. We woke up and we're like, man, we got to go do something.
Yeah.
So we just started driving on the other side of Highway 70 over there where I told you all the damage was, and I didn't know where to go. So I just text. We have a Facebook page here in this community called Hip Donaldson,
Uh huh.
and so I just put on there, who needs help. Somebody told me the horse farm, which there's a horse farm that's kind of hidden down by the river.
Yeah.
So we went down. So we went down there, and that's where I just started helping. You have to. There's so much to do. You just didn't really know where to start. It was overwhelming. So that's what I did that day. My wife has been running meals. We have a senior center here. I think she ran 250 meals today. Just here in the Donaldson. I know
Yeah.
there's a lot going on downtown, but
Yeah.
every community you just have to deal with what's right in front of
Oh,
you at the
absolutely.
moment.
Absolutely.
And so about the volunteer effort you was talking about, Hands on Nashville actually has is 18,000. I think that's right. They have 18,000 volunteers that they're organized to dispatch Friday and Saturday. I mean, excuse me, Saturday and Sunday. So it's 18,000 that's coming in from somewhere. Uh, and that's where, if you want to help with the effort to volunteer, the best place is just go to Hands on Nashville, HON.org. And there it has a volunteer for the tornado recovery button. Just click on there and you can sign up. And anybody out there, if you just go to my Facebook page, I put that information on there. It should be like the very first thing.
That's good.
They can go there if they want to volunteer, because if you just come here and drive around looking for some place to go, it's just too much traffic. The emergency vehicles can't get around, the construction guys can't get around. So that's the best place is Hands on Nashville, as far as if you want to help volunteer. Do some stuff here this weekend.
Well, I'm sure this weekend, starting tomorrow afternoon especially, will be a huge. You'll see a huge turnout of helpers, equipment. I know when I watched the people that were struck here, it sounds like the neighborhoods are about the same. The devastation we suffered here in Ooltewah years ago. There's only one thing to do, and that's just scrape everything into a big pile right in the middle of your lot.
It is.
That's what they do.
It is.
Yeah, that's what you do. There's nothing to salvage.
At first you think you're not doing anything, but it has to be done so it can be removed, so they can repair lines and roofs and everything else.
It's a daunting task, and anybody listening to the sound of my voice or watching here, if you've got time this weekend and you've got a bobcat or a front loader or anything that'll lift heavy things and move it, they'll be able to use you this weekend in the Donaldson area where Ken is, or probably you could probably go to Nissan Stadium and they would direct you to areas that need help there as well.
Right.
But it sounds to me that the Nashville community, Davidson County, has already started coming together. I know, and I've read the stories in the headlines out of Putnam County, and it always amazes me the outpouring of love and the outpouring of services that come when an event like this happens. And it is amazing the way we pull together.
Yeah, the volunteer effort is amazing, man. People taking off work, just to go drag limbs, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just do whatever. But I will say this is a barbecue show, and the NBT tournament was last weekend.
Yeah, the National Barbecue Tour, exactly.
Yeah,
in Lebanon.
Up there in Lebanon.
Yeah,
in Lebanon. And see, so that's right by the interstate, right by I-40, and that tornado paralleled I-40. So those guys that's been there, if you think that F3 tornado came between the fairgrounds where they were and the interstate, in I-40, that's only about 2 miles right there.
Yeah.
The fairgrounds only about 2 miles off of I-40, and it came right through there. So
in tornado talk, that's about that far.
Yeah.
Of a miss.
If those guys remember seeing a camper, sells campers, right there between them and the interstate, that place is gone.
Oh, jeez! I guarantee you, there's people watching right now going, we were just there last weekend, and we saw that. Hey, real quick before I let you go, I know you went to that contest, the first ever National Barbecue Tour full-fledged contest that you went that Friday night. How was the setup and how was the turnout?
Well, I wasn't there Friday night. I was there Friday afternoon.
Okay.
We're just starting to roll in.
Yeah.
And there was about 10 rigs that were there setting up, and I just talked to a few guys. Asked them about the turn-in times, and if they thought they were going to like the hour turn-in instead of every 30 minutes, and just shot the bull with them a little bit. And then I was planning on coming back to the next day, Saturday, but man, I got sick. I got home Friday night, and I got some kind of virus or something. And I woke up Saturday, I just couldn't do it. So I didn't get to go back. But it was right there at the Ag Center. They have a real nice Ag Center right there on the fairgrounds.
So it was a nice
And
place to
yeah, oh yeah,
host a contest.
yeah, man. They had plenty of room, and they had plenty of room. The fairgrounds there it's like they host the biggest and the best state fair here in Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
So they've got all the amenities and everything you could possibly need there.
Well, good for them. I'm glad it sounds like it was a success. I watched the award ceremony Saturday, and it looked like they had a good turnout, and looked like a nice facility where they were having the award ceremony. So good for the NBT. That's great for their first event. That's always good. There's plenty of room for more barbecue competition in this world.
Yeah.
Ken Smith, thank you so much. You don't know how much I appreciate that report, and appreciate you keeping us informed, and I appreciate that extra work you did jotting down those notes with the statistics on it. They're mind-boggling. They're mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is, man. Almost 700. Well, I guess there was more than 700 poles. But man, there's something else too. We had a tornado in 1989 and 1933, and they all three followed the exact same path, right through East Nashville and right through the same communities. That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, if you do the overlay, they're practically right on top of each other.
I guess we get into a certain weather pattern, and the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anybody wants to move to Nashville, contact me, and I'll tell you where not to move.
Move where on the Broadway side, on the Tootsie side of the river, not the other side of the river, right?
Right.
That's the easy way to do it. I heard you, Ken. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Ken Smith from Nashville, with that great report about the staggering loss of just the infrastructure alone in the Nashville area. Everybody, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Stan Hayes of Operation Barbecue Relief, thank you so much for being here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. Ken Smith, thank you as always for a great report from Nashville and from Ground Zero. We appreciate it very much. I want to remind everybody, Sunday night Barbecue Tavern Talk with Ricer is on. I will be on that show April the 5th. I'll be visiting with Ricer on that show. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on YouTube on Dead Broke Barbecue page. Monday night, the Atlanta Barbecue Store, Chewing the Fat with Brian and Ellen Jarvis. And Rod Gray was on their show last Monday. I've been trying to get Rod to come on our show. I've asked him twice now. And you don't want to talk to me. But he was on Brian's show, so what's that tell you? We know who's important in this business. They're on at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or 8:30 sometimes. They change a little bit. Tuesday at 5 is Johnny Maggs and Messy Mike hosted the Pit Life Barbecue Show. That comes on at 5 o'clock, right on Facebook. And on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, the Barbecue Central Show with Greg Rempin. If you missed that show, tune in. Kevin Coleman from Weber was on that show this past Tuesday. A great interview with Kevin on the controversial Weber smoke fire. It was a really good interview. Go back and watch that. Wednesday night, Just Piddling with Sandy and Randy Smith on YouTube. Thursday nights right here. And Friday all day long, it's the best of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. You can hear that release every Friday on podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you can find that show by executive producer John Solberg. The best of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less, give or take a couple minutes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back here next Thursday night. Until then, everyone, good luck and good night.
It's bad, you know. You ask me why. I just went on and told her. She asked me why. I just went on and told her.
Owl's Nest Barbecue Show with Steve Ray, broadcasting from the Owl's Nest Barbecue Research and Development Center in Ottawa, Tennessee.
Good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that every dream comes true. And now till we meet again. Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.